From Red Wilson Field, it's time for some summer baseball as the Red Sox host the Brewster Whitecaps in the second bout of the year. Hello and welcome alongside Will Connerly. I'm Brad Klein, happy to be with you. And Will, Y-D coming off the heels of a tie, their second of the year. Their first tie came against Brewster in the opener of this season, 0-0. That was the game. It was a good one, a pitcher's duel.
It was a pitcher's duel, not only the second tie of the year, but the second time the pitching staff has come together with a shutout. Nice job performance from the pitching staff so far this year. All the pitchers have given Coach good length on the mound, and we expect to see the same tonight.
Well, shutouts have actually become commonplace on the Cape side for Brewster because they have 23 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings pitched. The Whitecaps coming off the heels of a 3-0 win. That was the difference. They were able to muster some runs on the board despite their league worst 191 batting average. It was the pitching. It's been the pitching for Brewster.
Yeah, they haven't really swung the bat well, but 3 wins in a row, and it's all because of the pitching. And another good pitcher on the mound tonight in Bryce Hubbard for Brewster.
Bryce Hubbard from Florida State, a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup guy, had one appearance already for Brewster. That was against Bourne on June 21st. 4 innings, 3 runs, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts. Do the math and carry the 1. That's a 6.75 ERA.
Yeah, he actually pitched pretty well. It was just one bad pitch throughout that outing. Went 4 innings and then led up the home run in the top of the third against Bourne, who's just playing out of their minds right now, undefeated to start the year through 1 week. But Hubbard actually pitched the ball pretty well. He had a great season at Florida State, 71 innings, 94 strikeouts, and just allowed a 208 batting average against, which was best in the Seminole rotation.
And on the Y-D side, they go with Drew Thorpe, a guy who a lot of people think might even be the best in the rotation coming from Cal Poly.
He's really good. Got a good changeup, but also gets a ton of strikeouts. And against Brewster, they have struck out 11.3 times per game as a team through 6 games played, hitting 191, as you mentioned, and Thorpe has strikeout stuff. 90 innings tossed. He had 104 strikeouts as the Friday night guy for Cal Poly when he picked up 6 wins this past spring in his first full year at the front of the Mustangs rotation.
And Drew Thorpe talking to Tom Vasella, the pitching coach, he says that Thorpe might actually have some of the most potential on this staff and might even be his favorite just in terms of execution right here, right now, because that's what it's about. Drew Thorpe putting on a show in the first start and set to do so again here in round number 2. The national anthem coming up, and we will step aside. You're watching Y-D Red Sox Baseball on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. 4 against Y-D in the opener against Luis Ramirez, who was really good in the opener as well. Davis, the outfielder from Wofford, a senior, was 1 for 3 yesterday with an RBI. You talk about how Porter Brown turned it around from 2020 to 2021. Fastball swung on and fouled back to the ground. 0-1 the count now as Drew Thorpe goes at the heater early on. Hasn't really stuck with the slider much, but Colin Davis didn't have to turn it around. In 2020, in 17 games, hit .348. 2021 stepped it up to .351. Chops it foul for 0-2 count.
And he had 11 home runs this past season, and he had 4 in 2020, so he had a higher average, hit for more power, and he's leading the league in stolen bases as well.
Spent the 2019 campaign over the summer with Katuitt. The 0-2 slider grounded slowly over to Lee. Pumps his glove and lofts it over to first in time. 2 gone. So 2 quick outs in the books for Drew Thorpe and Gavin Cross, who came into his Brewster career with a lot of hype, a lot of buzz. Going to play for Team USA soon.
Yeah, this is his last game.
Hasn't really lived up to expectations. Hitting .67 on the year. Was 0 for 3 in the opener against Y-D. Fastball off the plate for ball 1.
Yeah, he was 0 for his first 11 until in the first inning yesterday, he crushed a home run, his first hit and only hit so far this season.
Brewster stacking up the lefties on Thorpe, and the changeup misses low, 2-0.
Teammates with Y-D's Cade Hunter at Virginia Tech.
Cross way ahead of the changeup there, 2-1. Now Cross, that star freshman, the first ever Virginia Tech freshman to be selected to Team USA, and he drives that one to deep right center field. Kiss that baby goodbye. It's out of here. Gavin Cross, what seemed to be off the end of the bat didn't matter. The freshman with gusto to put Brewster up 1-0, 2 gone in the top of the first.
It wasn't going to take long for Gavin Cross to get going. 0 for 11 to start, but now he's got 2 home runs in as many days, hit .345 with 11 home runs at Virginia Tech this past season, and you know he can produce. Start slow, but 2 straight days as he crushes the ball over the fence.
So Brewster with some early life on Drew Thorpe. And Will Simpson, the DH, launches the fastball high off the mid of Nate Baez. Back to the backstop, 1-0. Simpson back to the screen, 1-1 off the fastball.
In 5 innings last outing, Thorpe surrendered 6 hits but was able to work around it. But Cross just put a really good swing on that one, and it carried the ball carrying today. We saw that in batting practice earlier.
Front door slider inside, 2-1 now. Now for Drew Thorpe, home runs really haven't been a concern. Gave up only 4 in over 90 innings pitched at Cal Poly this past year. And misses low on the breaking ball. So the count is now 2-1 to Simpson. Make that 3-1. Fastball chased low below the zone. The scoreboard was behind. Deke me out. The strike is for strike 3. Side retired. Brewster up 1-0 in the middle of the first, and Drew Thorpe only gives up the 1 hit. It was the home run to Gavin Cross. We'll be back right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Bottom of the first, and Y-D already down 1-0 after the home run to right center field by Gavin Cross for Brewster. Peyton Graham leading off for Y-D, checked his swing, down the first base line it goes, it's fair, and Thompson fields it cleanly for out number 1. So Bryce Hubbard with 1 pitch and 1 out on Peyton Graham.
Not the swing that Graham wanted right there, the checked swing, and that's because Hubbard kind of had him off balance. Hubbard has a good repertoire, 74 pitches through 4 innings last time, so he wants to be more efficient this time around. 1 pitch, 1 out. That's a great way to do it.
Gave up a few runs in his first start as he misses on the first pitch to Zach Liu hitting in the 2-hole. Newly acquired Red Sox. 3 earned over 4 innings in his first start against Bourne. Misses on the fastball inside, 2-0.
Yeah, they all came on 1 swing from Bourne, who hit the home run, but he threw a lot of strikes. 56% of his pitches were in the strike zone in his first outing when he went 4 innings.
Liu way ahead of the changeup, 2-1 now with 1 out, no one on, and Y-D down by 1. Well, Hubbard's still really learning how to be a starter. Had the 3.8 ERA in 2021 as a Florida State Seminole, as Liu loses his bat to the backstop and the ball was popped over the screen, foul, so 2-2 now. Liu not even going to go back for any more pine tar. He's just going to run it back. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Liu. But Hubbard had 71 innings pitched and a 3.8 ERA in his first year as a starter for Florida State. In 2020, only had 8 1/3 and a 6.48 ERA. Fastball sails way high and outside to Zach Liu, so the count is now full.
Had a good first year in that rotation, and his ability to find the strike zone and get a lot of strikeouts is why he stayed there.
Liu pops it up, foul ground, behind the plate, no, down the first base line. Thompson finds it in the sun for out number 2. So Zach Liu is now 0 for 5 as a Red Sox. And 2 outs via the unassisted first baseman put out. Jake Thompson getting his work in early. And Brooks Lee will hit from the right side in the 3-hole with 2 out, no one on. Now Lee, what can you say about him? Hitting .407 on the year, was 2 for 4 against Orleans yesterday. Chin music for ball 1.
I mean, there's a lot to say about Lee, another guy going to Team USA, hitting above 400, one of just 6 players in the league over that 400 mark.
And Lee with a broken bat blooper over to short. Alex Freeland is there in shallow left to make the catch. Signed retired. No runs, no hits, no one left on. Y-D goes down in order, and at the end of 1, it's Brewster 1 and Y-D none. Right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. This break brought to you by Milton Cat. For sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game. Top of the second inning from Red Wilson Field. Brewster 1, Y-D none. Right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein. Drew Thorpe in his second inning of work. Fastball chased high for strike one from Jake Thompson, who is 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts in the opener against Y-D. And that first and only run came off the homer by Gavin Cross, just his second hit of the year, as Thorpe misses on the breaking ball outside for ball 1, 1-1 the count now. Thorpe actually gave up a homer in his last start of the year for Cal Poly against Hawaii. Only had the 4 home runs allowed as the fastball was slashed down the left field line out of play. So kind of a statistical anomaly for Drew Thorpe early on.
Yeah, and coming against a guy he's going to unite with at Team USA.
Jake Thompson chasing the slider, just got a piece of it. A lazy swing, trying to just do just that, stay alive. He was biting all the way, so we'll do it again. Drew Thorpe thought he had out number 1 via his second punch-out of the day. 1 ball, 2 strikes, Thorpe from the windup. Kicks and deals, the fastball outside, but he chased it down the left field line. Zach Liu, the third baseman, dives and makes the catch. Oh, retreating back, and he found it in the sun. Zach Liu with a web gem for out number 1.
Great play right there. Very hard to go back on a ball like that, but he goes back, finds it, and lays out to make the play. Incredible play by Liu, who hasn't seen a ton of time at the hot corner, just his second start.
Had a tough time finding it in the sun. Couldn't really decide which shoulder he was going to drop. And Drew Thorpe, as he was starting the windup, gets the hold on sign from the home plate umpire Mark Delaney. Says that no one near the batter's box was ready. That includes Cooper Weiss, who takes the first pitch fastball in the dirt for ball 1. 1 for 4 with a homer in the opener against Y-D.
Went 0 for 3 yesterday, 3 for 11 on the season.
And the slider bounces low, 2-0.
Hit just 208 this past season at Coastal Carolina, after he led the team with a 372 average in 2020.
Infield straight up, 2-0 the count, 1 out, no one on, make it 3-0. As the changeup misses way outside and low, so Drew Thorpe losing command of the strike zone in the top of the second inning.
Yeah, wants to get back into the zone here to Weiss. Another guy on this team who can run. Don't want him on the base paths.
And the get-me-over fastball doesn't get over. Tails inside, a 4-pitch walk with 1 out for Cooper Weiss. Brings up Nick Biddison, the second baseman, with a runner on first and 1 out. So Biddison settles into the box now as the Virginia Tech Hokie, the sophomore, at 5'10", 191, was 0 for 1 with a pinch hit at bat yesterday, hitting .250 on the year. And that's a guy you want to keep off the base path, second on the team with 4 swipes. First pitch fastball misses low for ball 1. Hit .235 this past year, regressed from .344 in 2020. Wind blowing in slowly from left towards home. And Thorpe checks back the runner. Cooper Weiss dives back safely at first.
Yeah, and everyone on Brewster seems to love to run.
Slider in the dirt, so Drew Thorpe still having trouble with that zone. One thing about Thorpe is he was tested in the opener. You mentioned he scattered those hits and didn't give up a single run, which has to be a good sign if you're Y-D. Right now he's certainly not in trouble, but you know that he doesn't have his stuff, and he's having trouble commanding that breaking ball. Thorpe from the stretch. Fastball misses way outside for ball 3. And here comes a mound visit early on. Tom Vasella trots out with Nate Baez to have a word with their star righty from Cal Poly.
Yeah, 2 straight 3-ball counts, so Vasella wants to have a word with Thorpe, who typically will command the strike zone with pretty good authority, so talking to him quickly and just giving him a second to readjust.
This is the last we'll see of Drew Thorpe in a Y-D Red Sox uniform. He's headed for Team USA as well. Has plenty of understanding of that program and what he's in store for. His college coach, Brooks Lee's father, Larry Lee, was an assistant on the 2017 USA Baseball Collegiate National Team. 3 balls and a strike with 1 out, runner on first. Runner goes. Fastball misses high for ball 4. So 2 consecutive walks on 9 pitches. Cooper Weiss and Nick Biddison on second and first respectively for Christian Pregent, the catcher. Still only 1 out. You have to wonder how much of that mound visit, what was said in that mound visit, because it really did seem like Thorpe was trying to elevate that fastball. And maybe Vasella just wanted to say, hey, a runner on first, not the end of the world, keep the double play intact. Put the ball in play if you want. Breaking ball misses for ball 1.
Yeah, in a little jam right now, but hit down to Lou at third. He can step on it, looking to get a ground ball to get out of this inning.
Pregent, the catcher from Stetson, and Baez, the catcher for Y-D, loses the ball, the slider in the dirt, and both runners advance on ball 2. So now all of a sudden it's runners on second and third, still only 1 out.
And the command not been strong for Thorpe here in this frame.
Pregent hit .222 in 2021 for Stetson as a freshman, COVID freshman that is. Now ahead of the count. Thorpe deals and a great pitch, changeup tailed inside, and had Pregent chasing for strike 1.
And it would be a nice time. Yeah, I know you mentioned some struggles this past season, but 0 for 7 to start the year on the Cape here for Pregent. So looking for his first hit with runners in scoring position.
0 for 7, 6 strikeouts, and Thorpe would certainly order one of those off the menu right now with first base vacant and the infield pinching in as the changeup misses way low for ball 3. So 2 consecutive walks on 9 pitches. Cooper Weiss on third and Nick Biddison on second. They advanced on the pass ball, the slider in the dirt that Baez just could not corral, and now all of a sudden with still 1 out, it's 3-1 to Pregent. Fastball is in there for strike 2 as Pregent swung right through it.
Big payoff pitch coming up here.
Already some action in the Y-D bullpen. Ross Dunn, the lefty, getting warm. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners on second and third for Brewster. They lead by 1. Pitch. Pregent chops it to the left side. Lee is there. Checks back the runner at third and rifles across the diamond for out number 2. So Taylor made just what Thorpe wanted to do, just force some weak contact and keep the runners put. 2 gone for the 9-hitter Alex Freeland.
Nice play by Lee right there. Thorpe's college teammate. He's able to backhand it, make sure the runner stays at third base in Cooper Weiss, and now you're able to get out of the jam after 2 walks, back-to-back walks in a frame with less than 2 outs. He could get out of it.
Alex Freeland takes the fastball on the lower half of the strike zone, 0-1 now. He was 1 for 4 last night with a run scored and a strikeout, hitting just 83 on the year, 1 for 12 as a Whitecap. Those struggles began in the opener against Y-D, 0 for 3. And the slider chop foul down the first base line, so for the first time in a long time, Drew Thorpe way ahead of the count, 0-2 with 2 outs.
Yeah, 3 straight 3-ball counts until he gets ahead 0-2 right here, and I expect to see the changeup with left-handed hitter here.
It's been probably his best pitch. And he steps off. Drew Thorpe working from the stretch. It's Cooper Weiss on third, Biddison on second with 2 outs. And the 0-2. Fastball, check swing, got him swinging. Alex Freeland with some weak wrists just could not hold up the bat. He goes around for the second strikeout of the day, and Drew Thorpe works in and out of trouble. In the middle of the second inning, Brewster still up 1-0. And this break brought to you by Devidime. Hey fans, Devidime is the official website development company of the Y-D Red Sox. They designed and developed our League Best website and helped us with marketing to bring more fans to the games and more visitors to that website. Devidime helps organizations generate more leads and maximize their marketing budget. Check out Devidime.com to learn more, and be sure to like Devidime on Facebook. That's DEVADIGM.com. Bottom of the second here from Red Wilson Field, and Brewster leads Y-D 1-0 after the first inning home run from Gavin Cross. It's Nate Baez from Arizona State for the Red Sox leading off the frame, and the fastball nicks the outside corner for strike one, thrown by the lefty Bryce Hubbard. From Florida State, Hubbard looked pretty good in that first inning. 1-2-3. And Baez chasing for strike 2 upstairs. That fastball he just couldn't resist. Well, he was 1 for 3 yesterday against Orleans. He's now 3 for his last 8 after an 0 for 7 skid. So Baez getting hot at the right time. And the 0-2 to the leadoff hitter. Curveball way inside for ball 1. So the curveball, according to the scouting report, might be Hubbard's best pitch, and he hasn't used it all that much. Maybe just the second curveball we've seen him throw. The 1-2 from the Knoll. Fastball just inside. It hit him.
Yeah, Baez turned around, said he got hit. Umpire called it dead. And it was right on his forearm. He turned around, and it seemed like it just grazed him right there. But Y-D getting the leadoff runner on and want to capitalize in these situations. The first 4 innings last night, they had 4 straight leadoff singles, but didn't capitalize, of course, in that 0-0 game.
Well, hit batsman has actually been one of Hubbard's Achilles' heels, as the first pitch fastball is taken for strike 1 by Chase Luttrell. He averages about 1.5 hit batsmen per game, or at least he did this past season at Florida State. Lefty-lefty matchup, Luttrell over his last 8. Runner on first after the hit batter. Baez dancing moderately off the bag, and the curveball taken low for ball 1. Latrell hitting a .174 on the year. Hasn't had an off day yet. Very versatile right side of the field player. Has been playing some first, has been playing a lot of right field. Fastball way outside and high. Stands up the catcher, Pregent. 2-1 now to Latrell.
And he's a guy, when he gets going, you've got to watch out. Has a ton of power. Had a really good season this past year when he got to showcase his power.
And Latrell chases the changeup below the zone, 2-2.
And for a guy who can crack the ball at a high level, sometimes it takes just continuing to get reps, continuing to play, because you know that big swing is coming.
From the stretch, the lefty deals. Fastball on the inside corner, had Latrell frozen for out number 1. The first strikeout of the day for Hubbard. And Cody Huff making his Y-D debut with a runner on first and 1 out in the bottom of the second. Y-D still down by 1, while Huff got in onto the Cape yesterday. Landed at 6 a.m. And now following his roommate Chase Latrell. From Stanford, a big swing and a miss on the first pitch fastball.
First pitch he sees here in this league, takes a healthy hack. Hit .263 at Stanford this past year. Nice to see him join the Red Sox.
Stanford with the heartbreaking loss to end their season in Omaha. Swings and misses through the fastball again, 0-2, and turns around with the body language blaringly loud saying, "Come on, Cody, let's go." Actually banged his helmet with his bat. Baez on first, 1 out, Y-D down by 1. The 0-2 to Huff. Taken on the outside corner, Huff with the bat on his shoulder. Back-to-back strikeouts on identical pitches, the same spot for Bryce Hubbard.
After you surrender a free pass, a hit by pitch or a walk, it was a hit by pitch in this case to Nate Baez. You have to respond as a pitcher, and he has with back-to-back strikeouts.
So here's Pascal Ferreras with 2 out and a runner on first. Does not chase the high fastball for ball 1. That actually could be a really good sign because Pascal Ferreras has had a big strikeout problem. In fact, he struck out at least once every time he started for the Red Sox. And avoids the fastball inside, almost hit his ankles, 2-0.
Yeah, he has. He struck out about 25% of the time this past season with 16 home runs, but has struggled a little bit to start here on the Cape, trying to still adjust, seeing some really good arms every day.
Had the day off yesterday, and he drives that one to deep left field. Chasing back is Brown on the track. He makes the catch. Side retired. Well, Pascal Ferreras led Western Carolina with home runs. The scouting report said that this kid had a lot of pop, and it came very close to coming to fruition right there. Y-D still down by 1 at the end of 2. Still no hits to show for their day. And 1 left on after the hit batsman to start the frame. Nate Baez is stranded. 1-0 Brewster at the end of 2. This break brought to you by Curry College, because Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including fifth-year master's programs at www.curry.edu.
Back for the start of the third, Drew Thorpe on the mound for the Red Sox, and the first pitch is fouled away to the left side by Porter Brown, who flew out to right field last time. 1 for 15 on the season with 9 strikeouts. The table setter today for Brewster. That ball grounded over to Luttrell at first, and there's one away.
Brown just continues to struggle. That's been a motif for him as a Whitecap. And it's tough to watch if you're a Brewster fan because you know with his speed, that's who you want on the base paths with the heart of the order on deck. But it's just not coming to fruition, and he can't be hitting leadoff if he can't get on base.
And has a ton of talent. One of TCU's better players this past year. Hitting .342, got a lot of attention from MLB scouts as Thorpe gets the pitch in there for a strike on the inside corner to Colin Davis, who grounded out to Brooks Lee last time in the first. As that pitch misses inside. So one time through the order, now working on his second time here through the Whitecaps order, who's hitting .191 as a team headed into this game. They do have one hit. Gavin Cross produced a run out of it with a solo home run in the first to right field. Back-to-back days, Cross has hit a home run in his first at-bat as it's a 2-1 count here to Colin Davis. There's a slider that misses inside.
Well, almost any slider should be considered a good slider if it turns a right-handed batter around. That's exactly what Colin Davis did. He's just lucky that Thorpe missed.
Swing and a miss on the 3-1. Count runs full here to Colin Davis. Hit .351 with 11 home runs, 18 stolen bases, 50 runs scored in 50 games with 24 walks at Wofford this past season. The 3-2 foul back. Here against Drew Thorpe, the Cal Poly ace this past year, had 104 strikeouts, which was third in the Big West. Making his second start here with the Red Sox, but the last one as well, as he'll take his talents to play with Team USA, the USA National Collegiate Team, as that ball's grounded to the left side. Thorpe comes off the mound, gets rid of it quickly over to first, and a nice play by the pitcher, and there's 2 away. Thorpe with an athletic movement to retire for the second out.
Athletic, yes. Impressive, oh yeah. Drew Thorpe with his weight going to the third base side and keeping his balance enough to deliver a really, really good throw. That is a lot harder than it looks, and Thorpe, very impressive to help out his own cause. Now, something that we should all be looking at, though.
That ball grounded to the right side. Luttrell handles it at first in a 1-2-3 frame for Drew Thorpe in the top of the third. To the bottom third we go, 1-0, Brewster on top. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Network. I'm alongside Brad Klein with Will Connerly, and the first pitch in there for a strike to Wyatt Hoffman, leading off the home half of the third for the Red Sox. 8, 9, and 1 are set to hit for Y-D here in the third. And the left-hander tosses another strike. Hubbard has thrown the ball pretty effectively through 2 scoreless frames so far. The left-handed starting pitcher out of Florida State. Swing and a miss, and makes quick work of Wyatt Hoffman. 3 pitches and 1 out with the strikeout to start off the bottom of the third.
Well, Hoffman going down on 3 pitches doesn't help out his cause, but he's actually done a very good job picking himself up. Didn't have a great start to the season, but has really evolved into a formidable starter for Y-D.
Briley Knight now to the plate as that pitch misses low. Hubbard working pretty effectively early in this game. And the breaking ball doesn't find the strike zone as well. 2 balls and no strikes. Briley Knight 3 for 17 on the season with 4 runs driven in. And swings through the 1-1 pitch, make it 1-2. So that first offering actually was a strike. Then tossed the ball. So now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here with the southpaw Hubbard on the mound, the 1-2. And it misses outside. Count evens at 2-2.
Actually surprised to see Briley Knight hitting in the 9 hole. With the DH, you usually see Pickler get a good on-base guy out there, and only getting on base 22% of the time.
That pitch inside, looking to get on base now as the count is now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the third, Y-D still looking for its first hit. Briley Knight, and up and in, and it will be a free pass. The second free pass that's been issued by Hubbard. A hit by pitch to lead off the second, but then he followed that up with back-to-back strikeouts, then the pop-out, or the fly-out rather, by Pascal Ferreras to end last inning. And then here in the third issues the walk to Briley Knight. So 1 on and 1 aboard.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Briley Knight needs to get on base, and now he's a weapon with the top of the order and Peyton Graham looking for revenge on Hubbard.
Graham had a check swing to lead off the bottom of the first, and it was fielded easily by Will Simpson. Looking to put a better swing on the ball now, and that's what we saw him do during batting practice, really put on a show.
That was him versus Brooks Lee in an unsaid, unspoken, never really happened, but we made it happen in our heads home run derby.
1 ball, 1 strike. And that pitch misses above the strike zone. 2-1 with 1 out and 1 aboard here in the bottom of the third. A 1-0 advantage for Brewster. It came from the home run by Gavin Cross. And yeah, it was Peyton Graham earlier today. 2 different times, 3 straight swings, 3 straight home runs during his batting practice as he fouls that back to the screen. Has some pop at the top of the order, but he's done a great job as the table setter, has scored a league best 7 runs, so he's getting on base and coming around to score at a good pace. Also has one of the 2 home runs for Y-D.
Had 3 runs in the first of the home set with Orleans as the leadoff hitter.
He takes that pitch low, count full once again, this time to Peyton Graham. Briley Knight, the runner, at first. Peyton Graham with the full count at the plate. Zach Liu is on deck. Knight is running, and Graham fouls it away to the right side. And you mentioned at Orleans he scored in the first of that home and home, and He scored a pretty important run, the game winner on a Nate Baez walk-off single when he was at second, and then rounded the base paths to score the walk-off winning run. But's been scoring runs, been getting on base at a high clip for the Red Sox. The full count pitch. Sprayed foul down the left field line. So we'll do it again.
And that's 2 consecutive pitches that Briley Knight was running on, with Peyton Graham in a full count. And now Pickler has shown his hand. Brewster knows that Y-D wants to run. I'd care to venture that Knight's going to go again. Like I said before, Knight's a weapon now, and Y-D fully intends to use it. Pickler loves the hit and run early in the game.
The full count pitch from Hubbard, swing and a miss. Knight was running, the tag is applied. Strike him out, throw him out. Inning-ending double play. We send it to the fourth, a 1-0 lead for Brewster here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Top of the fourth alongside Brad Klein with Will Connerly. Drew Thorpe back on the mound for another inning of work, but the pitch count has gotten up there a little bit now in his fourth frame.
Yeah, he's over 50 pitches to get through 3+ now and ahead of the count, but that has been very rare. He's been working into 3-ball counts commonly.
Swing and a miss on a nasty breaking ball. And that is a strikeout for Thorpe after he got Simpson for the second time today. Simpson coming into this game 7 for 17 and was the leading hitter for Brewster, but 2 strikeouts today from Thorpe against Simpson. Now Jake Thompson to the plate.
Jake Thompson, the guy that's been struggling recently, had that 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts yesterday. But Thorpe really seems to be settling down here, and that's a great sign for Y-D. Because even though they have a couple of relievers that you'd imagine are really eager to get some work in, they really want to get the most out of Drew Thorpe in his Y-D finale.
Yeah, it's always a very tough decision and tough way to manage a bullpen. One of the hardest things about managing when your pitchers are throwing so well, it's hard to keep some of those guys in the pen sharp. You saw some action earlier in this game, last frame, after Thorpe walked 2 consecutive batters, but no action right now. Definitely trying to see how long they can go with the right-hander from Cal Poly. The 2-1 count here to Jake Thompson. Misses low, count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And it's no secret, there are plenty of relievers that will get some work because they have to get some work today, but it's a catch-22 because if you're Pickler, do you choose to go with the bullpen early because there are some eager arms, or knowing this is the last you're going to see of Drew Thorpe, Do you stretch him?
So that was actually the 3-1 pitch. Didn't go Thorpe's way, ball 4. So a free pass issued by Thorpe. That brings up Cooper Weiss to the plate, who walked in the second. So Thorpe surrendered a home run in the first and then had back-to-back walks in the second. That's when the action was going. Had a 1-2-3 third and then had a strikeout here to begin the fourth. Fouls that up with the free pass, and it looks like action is starting to begin back up in the Y-D bullpen. Looks like Dunn is getting hot. He was the one who was tossing some pitches in the second when Thorpe walked 2 consecutive hitters here with Cooper Weiss at the plate. 1 aboard, 1 out here in the top of the fourth, a 1-0 lead for Brewster. Pitch misses low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cooper Weiss hit .208 at Coastal Carolina this past season. 0 for 3 with a strikeout yesterday. And is 3 for 14 on the season. The breaking ball drops in for a strike and makes it 1-2. Here to Cooper Weiss with 1 out. Beautiful day for baseball at Red Wilson Field. A 1-run ball game in the top of the fourth. A check over on the runner. Jake Thompson at first base. He dives back in time. Brewster leads the league in stolen bases. Thorpe wanting to keep an eye over on Thompson. But his focus now is to make work of Cooper Weiss. A 1-2 count here with 1 out. And it's low. Baez digs it out of the dirt. Make it 2-2. Swing and a miss on the 2-2 pitch, and Thorpe issues another strikeout, his second recorded strikeout in this frame, and 4th on the outing for the righty.
Oh, that's a big deal. The walks have been plaguing Drew Thorpe today, already with 3 walks. He didn't have a single walk in that first start of 5 innings against Harwich, so you know that he's off, but to be able to buckle down and get a strikeout when he needs it badly, a runner on base, maybe his last inning. That's a big deal.
So here comes Nick Biddison, the middle infielder from Virginia Tech. Can catch a little bit as well. Was 0 for 1 in a pinch hit appearance yesterday. Hitting .250 on the season with 4 stolen bases. Swing and a miss on the 1-0. Make it 1-1 now. With Thompson on first base. And Biddison at the plate, who reached in the second on a free pass. One of the 3 that Thorpe has surrendered today. And now it's a 2-1 count.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this is Thorpe's last inning because of pitch count and because you could tell he really doesn't have his stuff. That being said, I've been very impressed with the fact that Drew Thorpe is only given up 1 hit, 1 run. It was 1 bad pitch, and it's very clear that he doesn't have his stuff today. That's impressive. The good pitchers can pitch well when they have their stuff. The great pitchers can tread water, keep their teams in the game when they don't.
2-2. Strike 3 call, throw down to second, and that's the 3rd out. Nice pitch from Thorpe. He strikes out the side. A walk sandwiched in between the 3 strikeouts. And we send it to the bottom of the 4th on the Y-D Red Sox Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Bottom of the fourth, alongside Brad Klein with Will Connerly and the Brewster Whitecaps. They have pitched the ball pretty effectively. 2 consecutive shutouts coming into this game, and dating back to 3 games ago, they now have 23 2/3 of scoreless baseball right now. No opposing team has scored a run here against Brewster in 23 2/3. So Y-D trying to break that today against the Whitecaps, who are on a 3-game winning streak.
And a great chance for Zach Liu to prove himself ahead of the count on a dealing lefty.
Swing and a miss on the 2-0 count.
And much like what I said about Briley Knight, the 9-hitter in the last inning, if you can get on base for Brooks Lee, Nate Baez, Chase Luttrell, who's due, then you're a weapon, and you have to be a weapon.
The 2-1 misses low. 3 scoreless frames for Hubbard so far. Has recorded 4 strikeouts and just 1 free pass, but in a 3-1 count. And that pitch misses upstairs. He surrenders his second walk. It comes in the form of a leadoff free pass here. Liu gets aboard, and here comes Brooks Lee.
And believe it or not, that's the 3rd time that Liu has actually reached base as a Red Sox, despite having no hits.
The league leader in hits, Brooks Lee, up to the plate, hitting .407. At the beginning of the day, 11 for 27 on the year as he sprays that first pitch foul.
Now, something that's become very apparent to me in watching Lee over the past 7 games is that he's a lot better from the left side than he is the right. And the scouting report did not say that. Scouting report said that he could hit from both sides, and he can. But I'm noticing a lot of topspin from the right. Ball's not going to carry as far with that topspin.
He hit .365 against righties with 7 home runs. .239 versus lefties at Cal Poly. Is that pitch in there for a strike, confirming the information that we've seen just through these first 7 games.
And so with those splits from Cal Poly and what I'm saying, maybe a lot of people might think about him dropping the right side, but he was working on that a lot today.
Breaking ball, strike 3 called. The best pitch from Hubbard we've seen today. Sweeping breaking ball that goes back foot to Brooks Lee, and he's called swinging through the strike 3.
I was watching Lee pregame work with the hitting coaches before the game, and not only before the game, but before anyone got there. He was first to Red Wilson Field today, working exclusively from the right side of the tee.
It's hard as a switch hitter sometimes to get those repetitions from the right side. I know you've brought that point up multiple times when you don't see the southpaws as often, as Nate Baez swings through the first offering from Hubbard. Swing and a miss once again. 0-2 hole that Baez is in. Reached on a hit by pitch to lead off the second, but then was stranded. Now 5 strikeouts recorded for Hubbard. Had nearly 100 at Florida State this past season. The 0-2 misses high. Baez with 6 hits on the season, 2 runs driven in. 2 of his 6 hits have gone for extra bases. Starting to swing the bat a little better, the cleanup hitter today. Here with Liu on first base and 1 away. The breaking ball catches Baez looking. The 6th strikeout for Hubbard, and he's really feeling that breaking ball.
That's one of the nastiest curves I've seen in a very long time, and certainly the best pitch I've seen today. Great curve by Hubbard to use it in the 2-strike count, and now 2 consecutive strikeouts. Runner on first for Luttrell.
Swing and a miss from Luttrell on the first pitch. The swing and miss stuff from the left-hander on the mound for Brewster. It's been pretty effective, and it's been on display here in this frame. getting ahead after surrendering the leadoff walk to Lou. Made quick work of Brooks Lee, got him with the curveball, got Baez with the curveball looking, and the curveball there for a strike, and now another 0-2 count. So,
and Luttrell keeping the bat on his shoulder there, Will, saying, even if I wanted to, even if that ball does settle into the zone, which it did, nothing I could do with that pitch.
6 of the last 7 outs that Hubbard has recorded have been via the strikeout.
But something to pay attention to, Will, is that Y-D, despite having no hits, has had 3 base runners, 2 walks, 1 hit batsman. And they haven't been able to move those base runners at all. They've all been stranded on first base.
Hubbard continuing to try to keep the scoreless streak alive for Brewster. That ball hit to the left side. It's going to be down. And Lou with a healthy round around second. He stays put. The first hit of the day for Y-D comes off the bat of Chase Luttrell. Yes, with the single.
Well, Luttrell really needed that. Now runners on first and second for Y-D.
He was 0 for his last 9, but comes through there with the bloop single to left. Now that brings up Cody Huff, who struck out looking back in the second. So runners on first and second with 2 outs and a swing and a miss on the first offering from Hubbard. Has some good run on a firm fastball. Then has had that curveball break off with good efficiency today. Trying to work out of a 2-out jam with runners on first and second. That pitch snips the strike zone up and in, but framed well by Pregent. The backstop and another 0-2 count. As Hubbard aims to strike out the side, Huff aiming to tie the game with the tying run in scoring position for Y-D in the bottom of the 4th. Fouled away, and Huff stays alive. Our first opportunity to see Huff from Stanford making his way onto the Cape.
He starts his hand so low, pretty much by his letters, maybe even a little bit lower.
Looks like they're going to take a look at Pregent. No, rather the umpire. Mark Delaney, the home plate umpire, may have got nicked on that foul ball, Brad. So they're taking a look at him, training staff and coaching staffs, making sure that he's okay. Sometimes umpires can take a beating with the balls that can be fouled back. Sometimes they hit the catcher, but sometimes it goes to the umpire. So Mark Delaney being tended to right at home plate as the players and coaches give him some time to recuperate.
It's also a very hot day, which doesn't help, and it's just important to stay hydrated there. It seems like he's going to be okay, smiling and laughing with Scott Pickler from Y-D. But to get hit right now with the heat, the humidity, not comfortable.
The fans here at Red Wilson Field give him an applause as he seems to be all good to go. Y-D trying to get the tying run, who's on second base, the go-ahead run on first base through here with 2 outs. Cody Huff, the designated hitter in his first start, struck out looking back in the second. Up to the plate with an 0-2 count. Runners on first and second here in the 4th. The 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball pops out of the hand of Hubbard, misses up and away. Lou led off the 4th with a walk. Brooks Lee and Nate Baez both went down on strikes. Luttrell with the single Y-D's first hit on first, and a swing and a miss. Another strikeout recorded by Hubbard. He now has 7 through 4 scoreless innings of work. 24 2/3 scoreless for Brewster as a team. And we go to the 5th 1-0 lead for the Whitecaps. Back on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Brad Klein with Will Connerly. 1-0 Brewster on top. Thorpe back out for the 5th inning of work.
A little surprised to see Drew Thorpe here. You're talking about it between innings. Really seems like, considering he was only given up the one hit, it was the home run in the first inning. It does seem like he's thrown a lot of stress pitches. As the 3 walks, he's been working from the stretch a lot.
Ball popped up. Baez, the catcher, gets called off by Drew Thorpe, and there's 1 out. The pitcher comes down to catch the ball right by the first base line. So Pregan pops out, now 0 for 9 on the year. That brings up Alex Freeland, who struck out swinging in the 2nd inning. Thorpe went 5 innings in his first outing. Has tossed 71 pitches, working in the 5th with 1 away. Freeland at the plate, 1 for 13 on the season thus far. Ball is popped away foul. 4 1/3 for Drew Thorpe, but just 1 hit allowed, and that was a solo home run back in the first by the 3rd place hitter in Brewster's lineup, Gavin Cross. 5 strikeouts for Thorpe and 3 walks as that ball's fouled back. Didn't see Thorpe issue any free passes in his first outing. 3 walks, 2 of which came in consecutive batters back in the 2nd when Ross Dunn started to throw. He started to throw a little bit last frame as well, and he's in the bullpen now, so has kind of worked as a microwave, continuing to get hot back there. And you figure he'd be the first one out of the bullpen when they do decide to pull the starter, with a 2-ball, 2-strike count and 1 away. All grounded toward the right side. Hoffman handles it over to Luttrell, and there's 2 outs here in the 5th.
Porter Brown from Texas Christian.
TCU's Porter Brown to the plate. 1 for 16 with 9 strikeouts to begin his season here with Brewster, facing off against Drew Thorpe. He's 0 for 2 today. The check swing, he did go around, according to 3rd base umpire Nick D'Andrea, and There's a strike. 0-1 the count.
And DeAndrea there, very, very stingy.
Thorpe fields it. Flips it over. 1-2-3 frame for Thorpe. He's retired 6 in a row. 5 in a row, check that, as we send it to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 lead for Brewster. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Pascal Ferreras to the plate. Here in the bottom of the 5th against the left-hander who's thrown the ball effectively today, Bryce Hubbard. Ferreras pops this one up toward the right side. Simpson going for it in that right field Bermuda Triangle, and Cross comes up to make the play in shallow right field.
That's a great way to describe it, the Bermuda Triangle. I like that, but it makes sense because especially on a sunny day like this, no one really wants a part of that baseball, so it really could get lost in there. And a great way for Gavin Cross to step up, take charge. That's his baseball.
Wyatt Hoffman now to the plate, 0 for 1, struck out on 3 pitches back in the 3rd. In his first pitch, he fouls back. Hubbard, 7 strikeouts, now has worked 4 1/3 as he's recorded 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. 7 Ks, 2 walks. Swing and a miss by Hoffman, now in an 0-2 count. 4 1/3 and just 1 hit allowed. It was a bloop single to left by Chase Luttrell last inning. And now 27 2/3 scoreless for Brewster pitching, and Hoffman gets hit by pitch. He'll reach base. The second hit batsman today by Hubbard. Hoffman gets aboard. Nate Baez was hit back in the 2nd.
Now batting for Y-D.
So Hoffman reaches on the free pass that brings up Briley Knight.
And that's also the 4th free pass with 2 walks and 2 hit batsmen. And again, like I said before, Y-D is yet to move a runner into scoring position.
One aboard, 1 out. Knight fouls it back toward Brewster's dugout. Riley Knight reached on a walk, but then was caught stealing to end the 3rd. The strike him out, throw him out double play after Peyton Graham struck out. The breaking ball called for a strike, another 0-2 count. 43 strikes to 26 balls thrown for Hubbard. The lefty from Florida State has been in control of the strike zone today. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and another strikeout recorded by the lefty, his 8th strikeout. Now 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th.
And it's also the 3rd time that he struck out a Red Sox on 3 pitches, really mixing his pitches well.
Y-D scored a run in its walk-off win over Orleans, but the next day was shut out in that 0-0 draw as that breaking ball catches the strike zone. And today they've been shut out through 4 2/3. (13 2/3) of scoreless baseball for the Red Sox at the plate. That ball is fouled down the left field line. And on the other token, 1 out away from being 28 2/3 of scoreless baseball for Brewster pitching, while Y-D is searching for its first run. In over 13 innings. Swing and a miss by Graham. And the 9th strikeout for the lefty. 5 scoreless frames for Bryce Hubbard. He's in control. We send it over to the 6th next on the Y-D Red Sox Network.
Leading off for Brewster, number 26, center fielder Colin Davis from Walker.
So now to the 6th we go. 1-0, still the score. It was 1 run in the top of the 1st, but donuts on the scoreboard ever since. We saw a lot of that last night. Another pitcher's duel we have in store for us. We saw a 0-0 affair between Orleans last night and the Y-D Red Sox at Eldridge Park. And it's been kind of the same story today, but this time Y-D trailing by a run. Each team just with 1 hit and a 1-0 advantage for Brewster. Colin Davis, Gavin Cross, and Will Simpson up at the plate. Davis pops it up toward left field. It drops in for a knock in between left center field for Harrison, Graham, and Lee. Neither of them could get to it. And it's a single for the league leader in stolen bases. Thorpe had retired 11 of the last 12 he faced before surrendering the first base knock since the 1st inning. And that base knock was a round tripper from Gavin Cross. So Cross to the plate once again. In the first, he homered, grounded out to first base back in the 3rd. That was a 1-2-3 frame for Thorpe after he walked 2 batters in the 2nd. But he had been in a groove, surrenders the leadoff single here in the 6th. And again, there's action in the bullpen. Again, it's the lefty Ross Dunn. 1 Florida State left-handers dealing for Brewster, and another's getting hot for the Y-D Red Sox. A check over at first. They thought they may have had him, but a close play. Davis back in time. Definitely a threat to run, already with 8 stolen bases on the year.
Yeah, and Thorpe has actually brandished a really good move all year. We actually were talking about that against Harwich, how his pickoff move is very quick, and he had one to second base.
Another check over on the speedy Colin Davis out of Wofford. Was 1 for 3 yesterday with an RBI. He was caught stealing for the first time yesterday, 8 for 9 on stolen bases this year. A threat to run, had 2 stolen bases against Y-D in the opener. As that ball gets away from Baez momentarily, Davis doesn't go. Here with the power hitting Gavin Cross at the plate.
And you have to wonder how the ball got that far away from Baez and still Cross didn't go.
Mid at bat. Coach Pickler's going to go to the bullpen. They're going to bring in Ross Dunn to face the left-handed hitting Gavin Cross. He wants the lefty-lefty matchup, it looks like. And there'll be a call to the pen. Thorpe's outing is complete. We'll take a break. He goes 5+ in this one. We'll tell you all about the lefty coming in for the Y-D Red Sox next on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Ross Dunn into the game, the left-hander out of Florida State. We've seen Bryce Hubbard out of Florida State, a left-hander, pitch the ball very effectively for Brewster. Y-D's got another one in their bullpen. He comes in mid-at-bat here against Gavin Cross, who's manufactured the only run today, a solo shot in the first, and breaking ball in there for a strike. So it makes the count 1-1 after Thorpe threw a ball to Cross. Pickler pulled him after he went 5. Surrendered 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, 3 walks. Davis, the runner at first. Dunn gonna take a look over at him. Now with the lefty in, Dunn can hold the speedy league leader in stolen bases a little better at first as well. And you get the lefty-lefty matchup with Cross at the plate, the third place hitter in the lineup who has some power. Pitch misses low and away. So 2 balls, 1 strike here to Gavin Cross. Ross Dunn out of Salt Lake City, Utah. Making his second appearance of the season. Looked pretty good in an inning and a third with 3 strikeouts last time he came out in relief.
He likes to go to the breaking ball early and late in the count. I really like that from him. That curveball can be used for different reasons in different places.
We'll see what he goes to here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch, it's fouled away. Dunn threw on the 23rd at Wareham when Y-D lost 7-1. 1 1/3 with just 1 hit allowed and 3 strikeouts. See if he can get one here. It's a foul ball. Nobody out here, top of the 6th, 1-0 lead. The speedy Davis on first base, Cross at the plate, and Brewster's leading hitter, Will Simpson, on deck. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. But we'll have to face Dunn this time, the lefty. The first hitter he sees here is Cross, but was previously 0 for 2 against Thorpe with 2 swinging strikeouts. Dunn looking for a ground ball here in a 2-2 count. He delivers the pitch, and it's fouled away. Dunn had 12 games, 1 start, a 2.13 ERA this past season. 12 2/3 tossed, 15 strikeouts for the Seminoles. Late time called. Dunn still continued to throw the pitch. Time was called, though, and still 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count.
I'll tell you what, Dunn had no choice but to continue that pitch, and that's actually not easy to do, to have your brain say, you know what, no matter what happens, I'm throwing this pitch. He stops, he hurts himself.
Davis is off with the pitch, sliding into second, ground out to the right side by Cross, so Davis moves up 90 feet. He's on second with 1 out after the ground out to second by Cross. Will Simpson to the plate, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Leads the team, though, with 7 hits. Brewster up by a run.
And get 1 or 2 more innings of the shadow game here at Red Wilson Field, where the mound and the plate are shaded, but the 60 feet 6 inches between them, not so much.
Simpson out of Washington. Hitting over 400 so far on the Cape. Hit .310 in 45 games with 7 home runs in his COVID freshman campaign at Washington. Dunn checking on Davis, swing and a miss on the first pitch.
Well, now Davis feels liberated playing behind the lefty. It's very hard as a base runner, as a base stealer, to be on first base against a lefty who really likes to check you back and has a really good move. Now you're on second. The secondary leads can be very aggressive, especially with a righty at the plate, and the shortstop Brooks Lee has to stay put.
The 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, so now Simpson in an 0-2 hole. trying to avoid striking out for a third time today, but that's what the lefty Dunn is aiming for. With one out and one runner in scoring position, Brewster looking to add on to their one-run lead. They got the cleanup hitter Simpson at the plate. He calls time. Simpson was selected by the Pirates in the 18th round of the 2019 MLB draft. Struggled, hit 174 in 2020, but hit 310 this past season at Washington and off to a great start here in the Cape Cod League. That ball hit to the right side. Briley Knight is there, and Davis is going to tag up. Knight with the throw to third, and he got him the second time. Knight has gunned down a runner trying to take third. Briley Knight comes up with it again. The inning is over as we head to the bottom of the sixth. It's a 1-0 lead for Brewster. Back with you on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. A 1-0 lead for Brewster. We're now in the bottom of the sixth. Then a pitching change for Brewster after 5 masterful innings of work from Bryce Hubbard. 5 innings and 9 strikeouts. They hand the ball over to Brendan Gurton, the right-handed pitcher out of Texas Tech. 6'1", 230. Hails from Gage, Oklahoma. 24 2/3 innings pitched in 2021, 2-0 record, 1 save with 23 strikeouts. Just recently activated, and the righty from Texas Tech comes into the game and tries to protect the 1-0 lead that Brewster has, and also continue alive that scoreless streak that Brewster's been on. 2 consecutive shutouts in the past 2 days, and they've shut out the Y-D Red Sox through 5 innings at the plate. Zach Liu, Brooks Lee, Nate Baez, 2, 3, 4 up for the Red Sox as that ball sails to the backstop.
Now this is his first appearance as a Whitecap. Some jitters here, you could tell already.
Recently activated out of Texas Tech. Very solid program. That ball fouled away. Had some good action at Tech with 24 2/3 tossed. For a team who was in the top 10 most of the season, the 2-2 pitch. Misses high outside the strike zone. Ross Dunn, the lefty from Florida State, came in relief last inning, and it was Briley Knight who came up with a huge assist in the outfield to get the double play. Second time he's done that this year. And also, first batter that the righty sees, he strikes out Zach Liu. That's the 10th strikeout victim that Y-D has been today. 10 times they've struck out as a team.
And Liu goes down for the second time today, and an uncompetitive at-bat for Liu. You really want to see him stay off of the plate.
Brooks Lee hits this ball way gone to center field. You knew it right off the bat, and we're all tied up here in the bottom of the 6th. A no-doubt home run from Brooks Lee. Good luck trying to find that one. It's a 1-1 score here in the bottom of the 6th.
Brooks Lee's second home run of the year, and he knew it too. He took a little bit of a couple Mississippis just to admire that one, and rightfully so, because he moonshotted it. And where does it come from? It comes from the left side, and that should not come as a surprise like you and I were talking about. He really had a good round of BP today from the left side. Even though he knew he was going to face a lefty starter, took hacks from both ends, knowing that eventually Y-D would get to the bullpen.
Brooks Lee put a good jolt into that baseball. Way deep, lost back in the trees in deep center field as Nate Baez takes the first pitch for a strike. So Brooks Lee welcomes Brendan Girton to the Cape Cod League. Had a strikeout to Zach Liu, but the second batter he sees is the first-team All-American shortstop Brooks Lee, and he deposits the ball over the fence. We're all tied in the bottom of the 6th. As Baez fouls that one off to the right side, but a nice play made over by Will Simpson. He runs behind the Brewster dugout, right next to the Brewster dugout to make the play. Good range from the first baseman.
Yeah, Baez was just trying to inch it over out of play and follow up that Brooks Lee moonshot. But yeah, right now it's just time to settle down if you're Girton.
Chase Luttrell now at the plate. Girton, the righty from Texas Tech, on the mound in relief of Hubbard, who had 5 strong innings of work, just 1 hit surrendered, 9 strikeouts, and no runs. But there goes the scoreless streak for the Brewster Whitecaps. 28 innings. $29 innings total of scoreless baseball until Brooks Lee hit the home run to dead center field.
29 1/3. Don't shortchange him. Actually, no, you're right. 29.
Strike 3 looking by Chase Luttrell. Trying to rain on Brooks Lee's home run after 29 scoreless frames from Brewster. Brooks Lee breaks it. Into the 7th we go, a 1-1 ball game. Hey Sox fans, have you thought about buying or selling a home? Emily Szymanski of the Salty Dog Group is your pet-friendly neighborhood realtor. As a part of the team at Keller Williams Realty of Cape Cod and the Islands, Emily is your go-to resource for home buying and selling. Call Emily Szymanski at 501-221-0196 or visit the saltydoggroup.kw.com. That's 508-221-0196 or visit the saltydoggroup.kw.com. .
Back here in the top of the 7th inning from Red Wilson Field, Brad Klein and Will Connerly, glad to be with you in a 1-1 ball game. And Ross Dunn on in his 2nd inning of work. Starts off with a breaking ball for Jake Thompson. He chases for strike 1, while the Red Sox coming off the heels of a home run that still hasn't landed from Brooks Lee to right field from the left side. The Cal Poly switch hitter equalizes this game, and the breaking ball just taken high. 1-1 now to Thompson, who's 0 for 1 on the day with a pop out and a walk. And Brooks Lee continues to be a difference maker when Y-D needs him the most.
And we've got another nail biter again. Close game in the late innings.
Fastball spiked off the heel of Baez, trickles up the third base line for ball 2.
But there's not much else you can say about one of the best shortstops in the 2022 draft class. He showcases his power, especially from both sides of the plate. But you were mentioning it right there from the left side, just torched the baseball to tie the game.
And the lefty Thompson slashes it down the third base line and foul. So we'll do it again at 2-2. Lefty-lefty matchup, and the lefty on the bump from Florida State, just the 3rd Seminole to ever hail from the state of Utah. Had a 2.13 ERA this past year, and the 2-2 is chopped foul back to the screen, so we'll do it again.
Yeah, a lot of players from Utah typically not taking their talents to Florida. But Ross Dunn.
They don't have that pipeline?
Yeah.
Ross Dunn,
He might create,
pioneering the pipeline.
He might create it.
From Utah to Florida.
Had a 2.1 ERA. Really good season.
Thompson again fights off the breaking ball. So Ross Dunn not wavering from that breaking ball. And Baez continues to flash in the deuce. 2-2 still. No one out, no one on. Top of the 7th inning, and a tie ball game at 1 run apiece. Both of these teams have been relying heavily on their pitching, as Dunn's fastball is swung on and missed. Strike 3, drop third strike, and Baez tosses it down the first base line for out number 1.
You said he wasn't wavering away from it, and that's why. Really good pitch right there. Has a really good breaking ball that he can use to get strikeouts and ground outs, getting guys out in front, and that's what the lefty's doing. Looks really sharp out of the bullpen. And he came in a tough situation, Drew Thorpe in a 1-0 count, and he's able to come in, have a clean frame, and doing the same now.
So, or rather Dunn already with 3 outs, and the first pitch fastball taken at the knees for strike 1 from Cooper Weiss, who walked in the 2nd inning and struck out in the 4th. Now, Weiss was one of the 5 strikeout victims from Drew Thorpe. Now shows bunt and fights it off foul into the dirt 0-2. So after Ross Dunn notches his first strikeout of the day, now in an 0-2 count with Cooper Weiss. And the lefty deals. Fastball back to the screen. A correction, actually. Ross Dunn with 4 outs in the books now. I was shortchanging Briley Knight, who had the double play from right field, a strike from right field to third. He caught the tagging Colin Davis from second base, who has some serious speed, too.
Best speed in the league.
Thorpe misses wide on the fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lefty kicks and deals. Breaking ball swung on and missed for strike 3. 2 consecutive strikeouts for Ross Dunn to start off this frame in the 7th inning. Still tied up at 1 apiece with 2 outs. It's Nick Biddison, the second baseman.
Ross Dunn looks really good right now, keeping hitters off balance. His fastball is firm. He likes to play with it up in the zone, and that can work when you can drop off a breaking ball like he has.
Breaking ball outside, ball 1. Biddison is 0 for 1 on the day, walked in the 2nd inning, and struck out in the 4th, 1/2 of a strike him out, throw him out double play. Chops it foul down the third base line, 1-1. So Biddison is now 3 for 13 on the year.
Speaking of the double plays and Briley Knight, 2 assists on the year. He only had 2 all last season. They both came in the same series against Gonzaga in mid-May for Portland.
Changeup high above the zone, chased by Biddison. 1-2 the count now. Briley Knight has been sub-Mendoza at the plate, but contributing with the glove out in right field. He stands there trying to shade the sun with his right hand now. The 1-2, poked foul back to the screen.
And you mentioned the changeup high, and there the breaking ball a little elevated. And sometimes when you hang a breaking ball in a hitter swings and misses, yeah, you had success on the pitch, but that's not necessarily what you want to continue to do up in the zone with those pitches.
And the 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3, got him on the fastball, and Ross Dunn strikes out the side, 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th inning. Stretch time here from Red Wilson Field. Y-D is feeling it, tied at 1 apiece with Brewster. This break brought to you by Milton Cat, because for sales and rentals of Caterpillar machinery, generators, and marine engines, visit MiltonCat.com, your area cat dealer. Milton Cat, the Cape and Islands Caterpillar dealer, is proud to be a sponsor of today's game. Bottom of the 7th, 1-1 between the Red Sox and the Whitecaps, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Brad Klein and Will Connerly, glad to be with you from Red Wilson Field. These two teams tied in the opener 5-5, and Y-D tied yesterday 0-0 with the Firebirds, so they just have a knack for it. And Brendan Girton on in his 2nd inning of work, chopped to the left side by Cody Huff. He's thrown out by the shortstop Freeland for out number 1.
Yeah, the two teams were battling in that opener, ending in the tie, but it was actually Y-D in that game who they had to climb back, scoring 2 runs in the 8th, 2 runs in the 9th.
Yep.
This one, a nail-biter, going down to the wire. You're able to get a run off Brewster. It had been 29 innings before they're able to get a run, but wow, it is a really close game right now. Both teams looking for their 4th win of the season.
Girton from Texas Tech misses on the first pitch to Pascal Ferreras. 1-0 now to the left fielder. Something we haven't said all year. Pascal Ferreras, the left fielder, his first start in the outfield. Had the off day yesterday as the changeup settles into the zone. 1-1 now as Ferreras was taken all the way.
When we talked with Coach Bickler, he said, I'm going to mix up the positions more than anyone in this league, and that's what he's showing here with Ferreras.
With a tough take on the fastball that just missed the outer half. 2 balls and a strike now, and Ferreras actually showing a lot better plate discipline in his first 2 at-bats. 2 flyouts already, but there he pokes it to left field, and it drops for a base hit. A 1-out single for Pascal Ferreras to left field, and Y-D is cooking here in the bottom of the 7th.
Great piece of hitting by Ferreras, and back in the 2nd, Ferreras, we thought he potentially had a long ball. Warning track power back in the 2nd to left field, right there with a nice hit to left as well, and he gets the base knock.
So Ferreras now with a lot of speed, and that is kind of the idea. Get Pascal Ferreras on board and try to move him across. But that's been hard to come by to get Ferreras on base. Wyatt Huffman now with one out and a runner on first, and he nubs it to left center field. That falls for a base hit. Ferreras takes an aggressive turn around second, but he stays put there. The throw comes to second. It gets away, and Ferreras thought again about going to third base, but he thinks twice. He stays put. Another one-out single for Y-D, back-to-back from Ferreras and Huffman. Runners on first and second. Still only one out for Briley Knight.
Fourth hit of the year for Hoffman. Pasquinel Ferreras' hit was his fourth hit of the year. And now Y-D in business. Big opportunity here because on deck is the top of the order. Briley Knight, he's come through in situations like this before.
Knight is 0 for 1 today, a walk and a strikeout. Ferreras on second, Huffman on first, one out. Fastball tails outside, ball one. Now Briley Knight could really use a big moment here. It's already one of his better games just because of the throw from right field, that assist. The 1-0 popped up to foul ground. It's a tweener, diving catch made by Cooper Weiss, the third baseman. Oh, what a play as he makes a split 45 feet down the bag. Two away, runners on first and second, stirring for Y-D.
Incredible play made right there, but still an opportunity with Peyton Graham. He typically doesn't go silent for a game, but silent right now, 0 for 3. One of the team's best hitters up with a runner in scoring position and a chance to take the lead.
Well, Peyton Graham has at least one hit in every game he's played as a Red Sox. And if you're curious, they're all of the games this season. 7 games played because Peyton Graham is just too valuable to the Red Sox right now. A mound visit here to burn some clock and get the bullpen going. Brendan Girton is in some trouble with the top of the order up. Dale Stanovich, the lefty, is warming up. A senior from Rutgers, hails from Amsterdam, New York. He's getting ready behind Girton. He came in relief of the star lefty Bryce Hubbard. 5 innings, only 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. But Girton has been a little shaky, especially here in the 7th.
First appearance here on the Cape coming from Texas Tech. Surrendered the lead with the home run.
He's now allowed 3 hits. That home run to Brooks Lee. Got 3 straight outs, 2 pop outs and a strikeout, and then back-to-back one-out singles here for Y-D. And Peyton Graham watches the breaking ball tail off the plate, 1-0. Graham is 0 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts. This could be Girton's last batter. Now maybe second to last, depending on the result. And Graham watches the changeup nick the outer half, 1-1. So you'd imagine that no matter what happens, Girton's not going to get to Brooks Lee, the switch hitter. Especially because Lee seems to be better from the left side. But Zach Liu, the righty, is on deck for Y-D. And the 1-1 to Graham, taken by the letters for strike 2. So the fastball settled in exactly where Girton wanted it. Graham had no choice but to keep the bat on his shoulders and gets an encouraging applause from Pickler down the third base line. Ferreras on second, Hoffman on first with 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Peyton Graham. The Oklahoma outfielder watches the fastball in the dirt. Both runners advancing. They were running originally. And now all of a sudden, a prime opportunity for Peyton Graham with 2 runners in scoring position and 2 outs.
Big time opportunity here. Lefty getting hot in the bullpen. Graham with a chance to do some damage. Gonna have to do it though with 2 strikes here.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Graham. Girton comes set, kicks and deals. Graham checked his swing, didn't matter. It's in there for strike 3 called. 3 strikeouts already for Peyton Graham. He's 0 for 4, and Y-D strands a pair in scoring position. Gurton gets out of a jam, and at the end of 7, it's still 1-1. Brewster and Y-D in another nail-biter right here from Red Wilson Field. And this break brought to you by Curry College, because Curry College is where you go to become anything you want. Curry prepares students to engage in successful careers with learning beyond the classroom. Explore undergraduate programs, NCAA Division III athletics, and continuing education and graduate studies, including 5th-year master's programs at www.curry.edu. Back here at Red Wilson Field on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, top of the 8th inning. And Y-D and Brewster tied at 1 apiece. It's been a great game, no surprise. Brewster and Y-D tied in the opener. And Y-D tied just yesterday against Orleans. Zachary Neto comes in as a pinch hitter to get this frame going, so Christian Pregent's day is done. He went 0 for 2. And Neto cracks it over to second. Hoffman ranges to his right, settles into his glove, on to first in time. 1 gone in the top of the 8th.
A really good play by Hoffman. That ball over there kind of ate him up. I mean, a tough play to make, but he shifted over to his right, gathered it quickly, and he had to get rid of it quickly with Nino running down the line. So a nice play by Hoffman. He's played a really good second base all year.
Here's Alex Freeland with 1 out, no one on, tied at 1 apiece in the top of the 8th inning. Freeland is 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a ground out. The lefty Ross Dunn bounces the breaking ball for ball 1. He's been very impressive. Came in the 6th inning in the middle of an at-bat with Gavin Cross to relieve the starter Drew Thorpe, and got 3 outs in just 2 batters. A ground out and a throw-him-out double play. Fly-out throw-him-out double play courtesy of Briley Knight's right arm. Then struck out the side in the 7th, and now a ground out in the 8th. And a swing and a miss on the fastball on the outer half of the plate here against Alex Freeland. One ball and 1 strike. Ross Dunn working from the windup. And the pitch. Breaking ball low, bounces again, 2-1. That's something that we've seen a lot of from Ross Dunn. Bouncing the breaking ball, especially against the righties. You wonder how much of that is intentional, especially early on in the count.
I honestly think a lot of it is intentional.
Dunn goes high with the breaking ball that time, 3-1 now.
And the reason is, early in the count, sometimes you can steal a strike. You want to bury a strike 0-2. Okay, you go to the dirt. But sometimes you can even bury it mid-count if you have good command. He's had it today and still get the strike on a swing.
And Freeland swings and misses at the fastball. The count is full now. Alex Freeland just hitting 71 on the year, 1 for 14 as a Whitecap. The count is full with 1 out, no one on. And the sun's setting in the top of the 8th inning, tied at 1 apiece. Payoff pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. Ross Dunn dialing it up on the inner half, his 4th strikeout in relief of Drew Thorpe. 2 gone in the top of the 8th.
Dunn is really throwing the ball effectively. I know something you like to look at, strikes to balls.
Yep.
Complete control, 26 strikes, just 8 balls for Dunn out of the bullpen. He's looked really good. The lefty's been in control today.
So Brewster going with another pinch hitter here. Harrison Rakowski comes in relief of Porter Brown, the left fielder. The interesting thing is that Harrison Rakowski is listed as a pitcher. So a two-way player right now, and he watches the breaking ball for strike one. Dunn, the lefty, deals another breaking ball, swing and a miss, 0-2.
Yeah, Brown with the 0 for 3. 1 for 17 to start. Want to get something else going, but Dunn, he's completely been locked in already with 4 strikeouts.
No balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. Pitch taken off the plate, 1-2.
Dunn looked really good in the 7th, striking out the side. Trying to complete his 3rd frame of work here.
1-2, swung on and missed, drop third strike, pinballs to the backstop, and Nate Baez has to go grab it. A drop third strike base runner with 2 outs for Brewster, and it's correction Sean Gusenberg, the shortstop, on the bag, on base with 2 outs. So Brewster is actually just playing the shell game on the roster with me. 231's listed, and Harrison Rakowski, the first name I found. So there you go. Sorry, Sean. Gusenberg is on base with 2 outs. That brings up Colin Davis, who singled his last time up in the 6th.
And it was interesting after that drop third strike, Dunn points to his chest, communicating with Baez, saying, hey, my bad there. You get the strikeout, but saying, hey, I buried that a little more than I wanted to during that situation. It did get away from Baez, and he said, hey, I made a mistake, even though he recorded his 5th strikeout there.
So Ross Dunn now. With 2 outs and a clean count to Colin Davis. A pinch runner for Brewster, Tanner Smith. Nope, that's a Y-D player. 29 for Y-D. And Dunn checking back the runner again at first base. Dylan Carter, the center fielder, is pinch running now for Gusenberg. And Scott Pickler out to have a word with his lefty, Ross Dunn.
The lefty, he's been pretty good today, been up to 93.
And his day is done. Andrew Marrero is the new arm for Y-D in his 2nd appearance as a Red Sox. 2 out in the top of the 8th inning, tied at 1 apiece. And a runner on first for Marrero. Ross Dunn's day is done. We'll be right back on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Back here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network, top of the 8th inning, and Andrew Marrero on the bump for Y-D. The Yukon righty in his second appearance of his young Red Sox career in relief of Ross Dunn had 5 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings pitched. 29 strikes, 9 balls, not too bad for the Seminole.
2 lefties from Florida State today. Both pitched the ball really well. And Marrero, hard-throwing righty from UConn, excited to see him work here in the late innings.
Has his work cut out for him against Colin Davis, and the first pitch splitter sails high for ball 1. So that's something that we expected to see from Marrero, implementing very early on in the count against Colin Davis. He had been working on the splitter in the winter prior to his COVID freshman season at UConn, but didn't really use it in game. Runner goes. Davis avoids the fastball inside. The throw down to second. Not in time.
Hoffman thought that he had him. Half the Y-D team was running toward the dugout. Thought it could have been out at second. Close play there. But you mentioned Marrero. He said, yeah, he's going to start implementing the splitter. Mainly throws the slider, something he can showcase to lefties, but did go to it early on in the count to Davis.
2 balls and no strikes now as Dylan Carter swipes the bag. The 18th stolen base of the season for Brewster. That leads the league. Carter came in as a pinch runner a minute ago for Sean Gusenberg, the shortstop. 3 balls and no strikes now as Marrero missed low on that splitter. And Andrew Marrero, in his second appearance as a Red Sox, recorded 2 outs, both via the strikeout, but gave up a few runs. Kicks and deals from the stretch, and he nicks the outside corner for strike 1.
Low 90s fastball from Marrero that he features. Slider mainly his go-to on the breaking stuff. Trying to work on a new pitch as we talked about. But a big out he wants to get here with Gavin Cross on deck.
3 balls and a strike with 2 outs. Marrero again, the slider off the plate, ball 4.
Buried the slider, 3-1 right there.
So walks were actually a problem for Marrero in his first appearance at Wareham on June 23rd. Walked 2 guys while recording only 2 outs again, both via the punch-out. And correction, he only gave up 1 earned and faced 6 batters. That came in the 7-1 loss. Y-D's first of the year. Now the lefty Gavin Cross, who homered in the first inning. From there, it's been slim pickings for Brewster, and the slider on the outside half of the plate for strike 1.
Really good pitch right there. You want to get ahead of Cross. A tight slider early in the count. Early in the count with the breaking stuff to the first 2 hitters. Or the off-speed stuff, rather.
Marrero again. The slider buried again. Baez blocks it and keeps the runners put. Great play by Nate Baez to follow the path of the ball. And the runners, Dylan Carter at second, Colin Davis at first. They're stirring for Marrero, who seems to be having trouble locating that zone again.
It's tough for Dunn. And a great outing as Marrero trying to get out of it.
Slider again. That one slices the zone, 1-2. So 3 consecutive sliders to the lefty, Gavin Cross, who's now hitting a $111. 2 for 18 on the year. The infield shaded, the outfield as bright as it's been all day as the sun starts to set and burns out at Red Wilson Field. Marrero comes set at the belt. Looking back at the runner, Dylan Carter at second, pitches, and the fastball is swung on and missed. Strike 3, and that retires the side. Andrew Marrero comes in to get 1 out. It was a big out, and he got it on the lefty, Gavin Cross. 2 stranded for Brewster. Still no score, rather still a tie score. 1-1 in the middle of the 8th. And this break brought to you by Devidime. Hey fans, Devidime is the official website development company of the Y-D Red Sox. They designed and developed our League Best website and helped us with marketing and bringing more fans to games and more visitors to our website. Devidime helps organizations generate more leads and maximize their marketing budget. Check out devidime.com to learn more, and be sure to like Devidime on Facebook. That's DEVADIGM.com. To the bottom of the 8th we go from Red Wilson Field. Brad Klein and Will Connerly alongside for the stalemate. 1-1 is the score between two teams, Brewster and Y-D, who tied in the opener. And now, trading blows, Zach Liu to start this frame off against Dale Stanovich, the lefty from Rutgers, a senior who started off his baseball career from Herkimer County Community College, didn't have a single D1 offer out of high school. And now pitching in a big spot in the CCBL. Fastball starts off the plate for ball one. And Liu checked his swing. Fastball upstairs. Didn't go. 2-0. So this might be the biggest spot for Zach Liu in his young Y-D career. 0 for 2 on the day with a walk in the 4th. But if he can get on base for the meat of the order, that's Brooks Lee. He's done his job. Fastball misses low, ball 3. So both relievers, Andrew Marrero for Y-D and Dale Stanovich for Brewster, have both come in and both started their first batter with 3 consecutive balls. The difference is Marrero got the out he needed, and Stanovich is being asked to get 3. Liu taking all the way, and the fastball down the middle for strike 1.
Stanovich, 30 strikeouts, 9 walks this past season at Rutgers, and was in the back end of the bullpen with 5 saves.
The 3-1 to Liu. Off the plate, no! The fastball nicked the outside corner. Zach Liu didn't think so, neither did the Yarmouth Dennis faithful, and the count is full. Dale Stanovich clawing his way back.
It's a big reason they brought Stanovich in is not for Liu, but the guy on deck.
And Zach Liu goes down swinging on the 3-2 breaking ball from 3-0 to a strikeout to start off this frame in the bottom of the 8th.
Gets his strikeout of Liu. Brooks Lee, though, last time took Girton deep, but now they flip Brooks Lee around. Going to be swinging from the right side, and that's a huge reason why they're able to bring in, and that's why they want to bring in a lefty. One of the best hitters in the league. You got to turn him around, and because they know one swing can change the game here in a 1-1 ball game.
365 as a left-handed hitter at Cal Poly versus 239 as a right-handed hitter in 46 at-bats. And the first pitch, breaking ball in the outer half of the zone for strike one. Lee is 1 for 3 today with that long ball. He swings and fouls it back off the home plate umpire, Mark Delaney, who with a big wince there. He's had a tough day at the office. Earlier in the game, had to step aside and catch his breath after taking a foul ball to the mask, and now allows the catcher, Pregent, to walk the ball back over to the pitcher, Stanovich. Now, correction, the catcher now, Curtis Byrne, as Pregent was replaced offensively. But still, Delaney is trying to burn some time here, nursing that right hand, and the two other umpires, Nick DeAndrea and Joseph Hilton, go to check up on him.
2 times you see that. Making sure he's okay, but he seems to be okay putting his mask on. But that, you're right, a tough day indeed after Shevchek, the coach for Brewster, been there for a few seasons and trying to lead the Whitecaps to victory in this one, has utilized the bullpen in multiple different ways, but I think a big reason he wanted the southpaw was to come out and face Brooks Lee, and he's in a favorable position in an 0-2 count. And also switching up, the defense. A few bad at-bats from guys in his order. He yanked them quickly.
Tie ball game at 1 apiece, bottom of the 8th, no one on, 1 out. No balls and 2 strikes from Dale Stanovich. The pitch, fastball, got Lee fishing for strike 3. Dale Stanovich pinpointed it right where he wanted it. 2 away in the bottom of the 8th. So 2 consecutive strikeouts for Dale Stanovich. 3 consecutive for Brewster, dating back to the Peyton Graham K to end the 7th inning and strand 2 runners in scoring position. Nate Baez, the catcher, played hero 2 games ago with a walk-off in a big spot here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and the fastball inside for ball 1. Well, Stanovich spent 2 summers in the PGCBL for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Had a chance to play collegiate football as well, but opted to go to the JUCO route for Herkimer County Community College, knowing that one day he'd get his chance to play some big-time college baseball. 2 balls and no strikes now as Baez held up his swing. Some action in the Mohawk bullpen. Brandon Dufault getting warm for Y-D. Did I say Mohawk bullpen? I'm in full Amsterdam mode right now. Full disclosure, covered Dale Stanovich in Amsterdam. He was a pleasure. But now it's just a throwback to 2019. Wonder how Steve Foucher feels about that.
We could ask him.
And the 2-1, Baez chops it foul back towards his feet in the dirt, 2-2.
Now both teams, as you go toward the late frames here, they're just looking for one swing. One swing that could change it. The most hitter-friendly ballpark in the Cape Cod League.
Stoppage on the field. Looked like there was a stray baseball out and left. And it's been taken care of. Nate Baez in a 2-2 count with 2 outs, no one on. Bottom of the 8th. The pitch swung on and flied foul down the first base line, out of play. Chase Luttrell would be next if Baez can keep the line moving. Big gust of wind from left to right at Red Wilson. Stanovich comes set, kicks and deals, fastball inside for ball 3. So Y-D with 2 straight strikeouts to put them behind the 8 ball in the bottom of the 8th inning. In the 7th, they got 2 singles, both to left field, both by the 7th and 8th hitters, Ferreras and Hoffman. They were stranded in scoring position. And now Y-D trying to generate an opportunity. Baez fights off the fastball, will do it again.
putting together a nice at-bat, working the count here against Stanovich, who's looked really good out of the bullpen, striking out Zach Liu and Brooks Lee to start his relief appearance.
Payoff pitch. Snared foul out of play, so we'll do it again. Now Stanovich, a 3.13 ERA this past year at Rutgers. Coming in relief of two prior Whitecaps, Girton and Hubbard. Payoff pitch taken on the lower half of the plate for strike three, and Nate Baez didn't think so. Side retired. Dale Stanovich comes in and strikes out the side, and at the end of 8, we're tied at 1 apiece. To the top of the 9th we go right here on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. Now it's now or never for Brewster in the top of the 9th inning, 1-1. We're tied between Y-D and Brewster. These two teams tied in the opener, and with no extra innings in the CCBL, Brewster needs a run to avoid the tie or the loss. Grounded foul down the third base line by Will Simpson against Andrew Marrero, seeing his second inning of work. Got a big out in the last inning, the 8th. On Gavin Cross, came via the strikeout. That came after walking Colin Davis. Simpson 0 for 3 on the day with 2 strikeouts. And a foul ball makes it 0-2.
Marrero, short relief guy out of UConn, really good pitcher.
The wind starting to pick up from Red Wilson Field. Andrew Marrero with a wide stance from the windup. The 0-2. Swung on and clocked down the left field line, way out of play. But that one was handled by Will Simpson. Fastball did not have him fooled.
And if you watch Andrew Marrero on the mound, favorite player Marcus Stroman. He says he gets a lot of...
Simpson chases the slider off the plate for strike 3. 2 consecutive strikeouts for Andrew Marrero dating back to the 8th. 1 away in the 9th.
You see how he's, kind of funky with his windup, moves around, leg lift, mixes his times. He says Marcus Stroman, his favorite player, and he loves a ton of stuff that he does on the mound. And talking with him before the game, he's really excited to get on the mound and throw.
Andrew Marrero already with 2 strikeouts, and the slider settles into the zone on Jake Thompson for strike 1. On his mitt, he has strike him out written to remind him of his father, who, when watching his games in person, would always yell "Panchalopa" in Spanish to yell, hey, strike him out and urge him on. The strikeout has not been missing from Marrero's repertoire, and the slider is again on the outer half of the strike zone, 0-2.
Marrero looks really sharp right now.
No balls, 2 strikes to Jake Thompson. Struck out swinging his last time up in the 7th. No one on and 1 out. Fastball sails outside. Tried to get Thompson to chase, but not biting there. Never even flinched. Brendan Dufault seems to be pretty much ready in the Red Sox bullpen. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Could be Marrero's last batter. From the windup, kicks and deals. The slider, maybe a broken bat. Number over to third, and easily handled by Zach Lee for out number 2. So with Marrero cruising, he'll actually stay in the game, and Cooper Weiss, the third baseman, at the dish, trying to tread water for the Whitecaps.
And the situation could be he could be just throwing a bullpen too. You know, you want to get him some work. You want to keep him hot. 15 pitches, maybe 30 pitches. Just keep your arm loose so you're ready to throw later this week.
First pitch slider low in the dirt. Gets away from Baez. No sweat, no one on. 1-0 with 2 outs.
It's really hard to stay sharp if you don't get consistent reps on the mound, especially for back-end guys. If it's not close games, if your starters go deep. So really common to see throw a session mid-game.
Fastball chopped foul to the Y-D dugout. 1-1 the count now to Cooper Weiss, who's hitting 187 on the season as a Whitecap. Homered yesterday in the 3-0 win for Brewster. The 1-1. Taken on the outer half of the zone again. Andrew Marrero pinpointing that fastball.
Really high ceiling for Marrero. Just his stuff is really nasty. And implementing that splitter with his low 90s velo.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Cooper Weiss watches the breaking ball in the dirt and inside, so he lives to see another pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Y-D has out-hit Brewster 4-2. The only hit that really counts for Y-D, though, the home run from Brooks Lee. The 2-2. Slider checked his swing. Didn't matter. It's in there for strike 3 called. Cooper Weiss had nothing to offer on the Marrero breaking ball, and the Yukon righty, with an ovation in the dugout waiting for him, signed retired. 4 outs received and offered by Andrew Marrero. Heading to the bottom of the 9th now, tied at 1 apiece. And for Y-D, it's 5, 6, 7 due up. This break brought to you by the Salty Dog Group, because, hey, Sox fans, have you ever heard about buying or selling a home? Have you ever thought about it? Emily Szymanski of the Salty Dog Group is your pet-friendly neighborhood realtor. As part of the team at Keller Williams Realty of Cape Cod and the Islands, Emily is your go-to resource for home buying and selling. Call Emily Szymanski at 508-221-0196. Bottom of the 9th inning from Red Wilson Field. Alongside Will Connolly, I'm Brad Klein. Tied at 1 apiece. Brewster and Y-D have been neck and neck all season in the standings. Just 1 point away. Y-D leads in the East 8-7. And Chase Luttrell, the outfielder from Long Beach State, watches the fastball for strike one on the outer half.
They've already walked it off once here at Red Wilson Field, so see if they can't do it again.
Luttrell is 1 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts, lays down a beauty of a bunt. Dale Stanovich trying to barehand play. He falls down to his rear end, and infield bunt single for Chase Luttrell to start off the bottom of the 9th.
What a heads-up play there by Chase Luttrell. Power hitting lefty. They shift him a little bit. Third baseman playing back. Wants to drop it down. Stanovich falls down. And Y-D in business once again.
Now, Dale Stanovich has always been known as a really good athlete. Starred at quarterback in high school. Could have played any sport he wanted to. And says he's a very athletic pitcher. And yet he couldn't make the play. And a clean count to Cody Huff in the biggest spot of his young Y-D career as the lefty Stanovich checks back a diving Luttrell at first base. Huff from Stanford DHing today in his first appearance as a Red Sox, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. Infield at double play depth. Luttrell with a healthy lead off of first base and again dives back. Stanovich not giving up an inch. So Cody Huff from Scottsdale, Arizona, swings and misses at the fastball for strike one, while Huff is no stranger to Cape Cod baseball. Actually, even though he grew up in Arizona, actually spent a lot of time over the summer on Cape Cod. His father was a scout for various MLB teams, and they would go to some Cape games. And Luttrell scurries back to the bag. Another throw over. That's number 3. Dale Stanovich not trusting Chase Luttrell.
That was just a great move by Luttrell. Second hit of the day. Really excited to see him get going. And
Huff watches the fastball sail way high. It stands up Byrne, the catcher. Count even at 1-1 now.
And most importantly, it was a very smart play. I mean, you know you're the power hitter. You've got great numbers. You drop it down to get on base. Now he's the game-winning run and aiming to score.
Luttrell on first after the leadoff bunt single. 1-1 the count, no outs. In the bottom of the 9th, we're tied at 1 apiece, and Luttrell again dives back to first safely. Stanovich is adamant.
And Luttrell is, you know, he's lobbied to put down the bunt from time to time throughout the year to keep the third baseman honest, and sometimes he'll drop it down or showcase it, but right there it was just perfect situation for him to do it.
And Huff grounds it slowly over to Freeling, could be 2. On to second for 1, on to first. That's a double play. Cody Huff in the biggest spot of the game grounds out to the 6-4-3. 2 away in the bottom of the 9th.
A dagger right there for Y-D. Thought they were in business. And the double play, the dagger, and 1 out away from second consecutive tie and third of the season, Brad.
And now if Pascal Ferreras has anything to say about it, nearly had a home run, missed it by a fingernail in the second inning on a big, loud, bellowing fly out to left. And with 2 outs, Ferreras with a big home run cut through the fastball for strike 1.
He has good power.
Pascal Ferreras led Western Carolina with 16 home runs as a freshman this past season. The 0-1 taken just low. It bent down Ferreras. He looked to be surprised at the call. Count even at 1-1 now. Ferreras singled in the 7th but was stranded on third. Peyton Graham just could not get him across. Y-D down to their final strike, the 0-2. Rather 1-2 now. So the scoreboard operator changing up the count on us here. 1 ball and 2 strikes now, I promise. And Ferreras swings and nubs it foul. So we'll do it again. Pascal Ferreras, his eyes probably lit up when he saw he was starting. Didn't matter that he was starting in the outfield out of position. He was 2 for 5 against Brewster in that opener. If he keeps the line moving, Wyatt Hoffman would be next. Those two players have 2 of Y-D's 5 hits. Stanovich comes set at the belt. The 1-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. Pascal Ferreras chasing at the high cheese, and that'll do it. A 1-1 tie, the second consecutive draw for the Red Sox, and the 3rd of the season. Pascal Ferreras with his first strikeout of the day, and the streak continues. Ferreras has struck out at least once in each of his starts as a Red Sox. And Y-D now is just a thing for ties.
They have a thing for ties, and 3 wins on the season, 2 losses, 3 ties.
But 9 points. And Brewster with 8, they're neck and neck in the East. And in a way, it shouldn't come as a surprise that these two teams in 2 bouts have tied. Now they're neck and neck in the standings. They're neck and neck in the head-to-head. And much like what we were saying about Orleans, Y-D and Brewster could be a very, very good matchup for weeks to come.
It's looking like there's a couple divisional rivalries. You see your teams, the teams on your side, much more in the East Division. Y-D is with Orleans, who had 2 close ball games against. They're in the same division as Brewster as well in the East, who they had a couple close games with. So a couple of things to look forward to the next time that you see Orleans or Brewster on the schedule.
So the only run comes on the biggest hit of the day for Y-D. Brooks Lee with a home run that still hasn't landed yet. Hitting from the left side, shouldn't come as a surprise that he hits better from that side. And Y-D needed a big blast for Brooks, but they didn't have any runners on base, which seems to be a motif at this point for a struggling offense. Brewster has even struggled more than Y-D, hitting a .191 going into this game as a team. They score in the first, zeros from there, and thanks in large part to Drew Thorpe really settling down as the game progressed.
And this offense has struggled for Y-D sometimes, but you got to look at the pitchers they're going against. Hubbard today, incredible performance. 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, just 1 hit of shutout baseball. This Brewster staff has done really well as of late. They had a 29-inning scoreless streak till Brooks Lee broke that. And so that is definitely a factor. They've been going up against some solid arms. You flip it back last week, Shaver, 10 strikeouts. There's some pretty talented arms, and there's no breaks every day. Some team's ace is going up against your 9 guys that are hitting in the order.
So we talk a lot about Y-D and their pitching. It starts with Drew Thorpe. Didn't end there, though. They got some really good relief innings. It was Andrew Marrero to finish, and Ross Dunn was fantastic as well in 2 2/3.
He really was. How about Ross Dunn? I mean, he looked incredible out of the bullpen, and you need a lefty out the bullpen in the back end. It's Ross Dunn right now. Obviously, Dufault, Marrero, they kind of look like your closers with Culpepper in the back end, playing so consistently. You need a lot of guys setting things up and putting it down. But Ross Dunn looks like the premier lefty out of the bullpen for the Y-D Red Sox, was really unhittable today.
That'll do it for us from Red Wilson Field. The good news is we're back here tomorrow. Harwich visiting Y-D at 5 o'clock. Be here, be square, right here on YouTube Live on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network. For Will Connerly, I'm Brad Klein signing off for the final time today. We'll see you tomorrow on the Y-D Red Sox Baseball Network.